Welcome back to a series so cool. Tony Hawk subscribed. In today's video, Ethan now wants to buy Creator Clash and potentially iDubbbz' house? Diabolical. Ethan is now threatening to sue another Twitter user who actually threatened to harm his kids in the past. It seems he has found their identity, and spoilers, it's another 40-year-old unemployed loser. Big updates from Hasan's orbiting moons, including frogan. Apparently, Ethan's server is having a hard time finding her, or potentially she might be dodging being served the papers. A YouTuber has made a content cop video on Ludwig. Subscribe to keep the legendary series going so we can reach that fabled episode 100. Over to you, Ludwig.
Let's up those numbers!
Okay, so quick context, Creator Clash is iDubbbz and Anissa's failed boxing event that they tried to hand over to somebody else. After that, the event got cancelled, and now people are trying to buy the IP, starting with Keemstar from Drama Alert. Keem tweeted, "Open letter to Creator Clash. I know I am Keemstar and this may not seem legit, but as a longtime fan and viewer of Creator Clash, I'm very interested in buying what remains of the IP. This is a serious inquiry. Owners, please reach out to me for talks." Right, so basically people are trying to salvage what's left of this IP, maybe turn it into a future boxing event. People responded, "Not gonna lie, I freaking hate the gnome, but I think even he could run it better than it was." Now Harley wants to buy it as well. "Open leader Creator Clash. I know I'm not Keemstar and this may not seem legit." Then Ethan responded, "I will buy Creator Clash. Owners reach out." And then he followed saying, "Should I buy Ian's house too?" Right, so if you missed the previous episode, iDubbbz and Anissa are apparently selling their house and moving to Canada.
Okay, so here's the fucking deal.
We're poor.
I don't know why exactly, but Ethan got wind of that, and apparently now he wants to take their house? I mean, I don't know if he's actually serious here, but you can't really tell with Ethan. This is the guy who's finding anonymous Twitter, Reddit, and Discord users and taking them to court. I feel like he would do anything at this point for the meme. He's a pissed off guy with too much spare money, and he's obviously gonna go petty mode, especially after iDubbbz justified the CPS call on his kids. Ethan is just crushing what's left of iDubbbz' soul with his wallet. Gangster. Nah, that would just be diabolical. Shout out Pegasus. Okay, I'm just everywhere, huh? We got the fans swarming the tweets. Legend. Anyways, moving on to Ethan threatening to sue yet another Twitter user. This one is Jake from Chinatown, the person who threatened Ethan's kids. Basically, they tweeted, "Should I sue public figure Ethan Klein for instructing his fans to dox me and repeatedly telling them I want to murder his children in what seems to be a transparent attempt to incite violence against me?" Anyways, Ethan responded, "Dear Mr. JC," and we got the name starred out. And I assume this is their real name because it's not the Jake Chinatown thing, because it's a less asterisk here. Age 39, male, unemployed, noticing a trend. You live in Texas, but your family lives in Minnesota, which becomes relevant in case you evade service. You can't make this up. Judging by your appearance, you are single as well, and clearly insecure about your receding hairline. Bitter, single, broke, and alone. No wonder you've turned to socialism. You wasted the 39 years you've been granted shitposting on Twitter and obsessing over a Twitch millionaire. I think this is talking about Hasan here. You're running out of time, my friends. How many Tinder swipes does it take to find a match? 100, 1,000, or have they stopped completely? I understand now why you want to kill my children, because if you can't have any, no one should. You are the picture of an incel in every conceivable way. Hasan is clearly leading you down a road of self-loathing and misery. 30% of Hasan's audience is unemployed, 6 times the national average. Am I surprised at that statistic? I don't know where the hell he's gotten that from. I don't know if that's really accurate, but I wouldn't be surprised. That definitely sounds like Hasan's fan base. My community is vibrant, employed, and loved, and unrelated 40% gay. Okay, where is he getting these statistics from? I swear to God. It is not too late for you. Even now in this late hour, I will accept an apology and let you all go. But if you prefer to continue to lie, harass, and threaten my children, there is nowhere you can hide. And if you don't believe me, all you need to do is wait. Smiley face. Holy absolute cinema. Ethan is on a generation generational revenge arc. Just when you think he's done with serving more lawsuits, more and more just keep getting added on. And come on, every single time, it's unemployed 39-year-old complete losers. I mean, it's just a pattern now. This is the people who are doing violent threats over the internet. The most pathetic humans in all of existence. No family, no people to love, just exist solely to harass people. Because of some twisted brainwashing by, I don't know, Hasan or some other people, or just general political brain rot. And half these people don't even have any semblance of a career. They're not even streaming here. Like, these people are just like on Twitter and Reddit, barely making any money at all. Like, at least I'd respect the hustle if you're getting paid, but my god, there's like almost nothing here. Anyways, we got another Hasan Glazer here who posted Ethan's screenshot and says, Ethan Klein is the most pathetic man on the internet. Well, actually, I would think the guy he's talking about here, you know, the 39 male unemployed loser, bitter, single, broke, insecure, who's threatening to kill Ethan's kids. Yeah, I think that guy's the most pathetic man on the internet. Or maybe the 47-year-old Hasan mod. Or maybe the 37-year-old Hasan Glazer, the queen in yellow. People responded, imagine being a millionaire and wasting time typing out that psychotic shit. Truly, like, go sit by the pool, man. Yeah, I think he was trying to, you know, enjoy his life, but you people would not stop harassing him constantly over and over and over again. So it's just finally time to face the consequences of your actions. Anyways, moving on to lawyer and YouTuber LUS, who explains that Ethan might be having trouble serving Frogan. Basically, if you didn't know, in the legal process, you have to serve someone the papers, right? Indicating that, you know, they're getting sued. Otherwise, they can claim that, hey, I didn't even know. So first, he talks about some background information about why the lawsuits for Casey Tron, Denims, and Frogan are progressing at different rates.
So Denims, giving her credit, the reason that her case is so much further along than Frogan, for instance, even though they're in the same court, is Denims took service herself. So she was served in person, she accepted the personal service, and that was the end of that. Credit to her, she didn't run away. Casey Tron was not served by her in person. Casey Tron had her dad served. How they're serving Frogan. So this is interesting. This is the results of serving her.
Right, so this is the report by apparently Ethan's server, and they detail how they were trying to serve Frogan, right? Go to their house and serve her at 4 separate instances, but were actually unable to do so because Frogan seems to be just avoiding her, or they just got the wrong address or something. I'm not too sure what's actually going down here. So if you look at the first instance, they tried to serve her at July 1st, 2:30 a.m. here, and then July 2nd, 2:30 a.m. as well. And they basically see like no one was seen on the inside. I could not gain access. I had to wait outside the front of the building until I was able to gain access by someone letting me in when they're leaving or arriving.
At 3:15 a.m., I was able to gain access by following after a resident or guest was leaving the building. Now, why in the world is this guy going to the home at 4:30 or 2:30 a.m. and staying there until 4:30 a.m., I do not know. That doesn't seem like a time that people really are active. Upon arrival, so this is July 2nd, 2:30 a.m. again. Upon arrival, I was not able to get access. The door to the property were locked. I waited outside the front of the building and waited for someone to enter or exit so I can gain access.
Right, so for some reason, they're trying to serve her with the papers at about 2 a.m., and this may seem pretty weird, like, okay, if you call someone's house, if you ring someone's doorbell at 2 a.m., they're not likely to respond, but it's likely that these servers have some inside info about the person they need to serve, so they probably go when this person is most active, and it seems Frogan, for some reason, is active at like 2 a.m. I don't know if she streams at those like odd early morning times or something. Some people are saying that she does, so that might be the reason this person is actually gone at that time. Obviously, they are the experts, so I'm not gonna criticize them on that unless they were genuinely incompetent here. Right, so another question people may have is this breaking and entering, right? Because they couldn't gain access to the building, they had to wait for one of the residents to get in, and then they sort of followed behind them. But the thing is, I'm pretty sure, right, servers like this, they are like sort of exempt from the rules. I'm not certain to how much extent they are exempt from this, but likely they are allowed to do this because usually the people you're trying to serve are very hard to reach because they're trying to dodge the lawsuits, right? So basically, they are given some level of leeway, allowing them to do these sort of shady tactics. I think they're allowed to like even look through your window to see if you're like actually home, which would normally be considered very weird, but apparently it's a very important part of the legal process to, you know, serve somebody. So I think the judges like allow this. Now, apparently it turns out the description of the person they provided who answered the door was definitely not Frogan. It didn't seem to match the descriptions. If we look at the description given here, this is on the 4th time they tried serving her. This was at 6:12 p.m., a relatively normal time here, and it's 14th July. We got Frogan, an individual, the serving the Jane Doe, the occupant, African American. I don't think you could possibly ever, you know, confuse Frogan as African American or Middle Eastern. Female, okay, I don't know what this is, 5'6", looks like 155 pounds. Okay, so right there already we know this is complete bullshit. Okay, Frogan, I don't think she qualifies under that description. That is not Frogan, dog. I just know it. Dark, long, curly hair and dark eyes. So it seems like we got a couple of possibilities here. One is that Frogan just had somebody else answer the door and, you know, so she could sort of like pretend she wasn't there. Or option 2 is that they just got the wrong address. I don't know what the hell is going on here. So after this, LUS talks about what exactly went down there.
Now, if the person that you are trying to serve is making it very difficult for you to give them the papers, what are the options you have? I said I have legal documents for you, and she said she's not Morgan. I asked if Morgan lived there, and she said no, that she lived there for 6 years and there was no Morgan. I asked her if she could show ID, showing that she is not Morgan, and she refused. I told her since she won't show ID, that I will be serving her. She refused to take the documents, so I placed them on the front of the door, and this is how much this costs. And it's hard, you know, in the FTX case, they were trying to serve Shaquille O'Neal, Shaq, and he just ran from service for months. It's possible to evade service for a long time. Those are probably the two situations here. A, that Frogan is avoiding being served, or B, it's not the right address. Maybe she's hiding, maybe she has her aunt or a relative pretending that she doesn't live there, or just maybe the more easy explanation is she simply doesn't live there. I mean, for somebody so public who posts everything about her public life, including that she works in the healthcare industry, or the health industry, the health policy industry, it's weird that no one can find her. And she's just continuing to live stream and continuing to post on Twitter.
Okay, come on. I mean, how hard can it actually be to find Frogan? I could find her from literally Mars. You could put me on Jupiter and I'd be able to spot her, okay? There is no shot they managed to find Denims and Casey, but Frogan is somehow elusive. Somehow, okay, I'm gonna have to stop myself there, but like, how? How has she won this game of hide and seek? That is absolutely crazy. Are you sure you're looking in the right galaxy? Because that's the only way you can miss her, to be honest. So is the server actually messing up getting the wrong address here? Because I don't know, I usually consider these type of people to be very professional, so they know exactly where they are. Or Frogan is just actually a 2 million IQ genius straight from Breaking Bad, and she's finding a way to avoid the server perfectly. But I feel like there's a very easy counter strategy. Just camp out at your local McDonald's. I mean, come on. There is no shot you're gonna miss her, okay? She's gonna make at least 10 trips a day, all day, every day. In my opinion, that's like a bulletproof strategy. There's just no shot she could possibly go a day without McDonald's. So that's my advice to Ethan's server there. Yeah, pretty hard to argue you don't know when you launch a fundraiser for your legal defense. As long as all the good faith attempts are made, it's sufficient. Yeah, I just don't think this is a good strategy at all. Like, I don't see how this is gonna work. You can't just dodge the lawsuit like that. And I don't think you can run very far if at all, honestly. Anyways, moving on to another lawyer, Legal Mindset. And this time he's talking about the psycho Hasan fan, Gato, who was defaming Ethan. And he talks about what this person can get sued for.
What's up with Zionists like Ethan Klein constantly doing false flags? I do not agree with Ethan Klein harassing himself and his children for sympathy. So the defamation, obviously, you can see that there. Is this one where he says Ethan Klein has been arrested following the publication of a video in which he appears to be in the throes of a drug-fueled psychotic break. So obviously accusing someone, of being arrested for drugs, That is some pretty clear defamation right there. What they probably are suing for is defamation or intentional infliction of emotional distress. Typically, most states, there's a 2-year statute of limitations on this. So he can dig back 2 years, possibly more, depending on the state that he sues in, but at least 2 years and minimum 2 years. So a lot of these posts are from 2023. That's perfectly fine. He can dig back to 2023, find stuff there, come back, add that to the lawsuit. That'll be fine.
Right. So basically, Ethan has the opportunity to go back through years of tweets and sort of stack up those defamation charges. And I don't know, I feel like it's not looking good for even the unnamed anonymous Twitter user Hasan Orbiters. And it was moving on to Ultimate Gooning Lord, Dan Clancy. Apparently, Ethan's calling him out as well. Ethan says, Dan Clancy, CEO of Twitch, caught begging for views in chat. What a freaking weirdo loser. I can't wait for him to be unemployed. DJ Clancy, I'm shamelessly going into chat of streamers I know to ask for raids when they are done. I'm gonna do my first charity stream. Not listening since I'm streaming. I'm going till 1 a.m. DJ Clancy has been timed out for 600 seconds. So basically, he violated some rule of like, I imagine self-promotion or something like that. So he legit just got timed out. And then we got a picture of him, you know, looking at his gooning phone. That's just embarrassing. Like, if he wasn't the CEO, I bet you the streamers would ban him from the chats. While I don't mind the CEO using the product they sell and promote to customers, Clancy shouldn't be a streamer if he thinks his platform doesn't have bias when it comes to TOS enforcement. CEO of Twitch can't even grow a Twitch channel. I'd say he'd like to ask Hasan for help, but his viewers are all penniless communist hippies. W Ma that gave that old pervert a timeout. Maybe bro just stopped streaming, you know, he gave his career to Extra Emily, so this is his new grift, you know, self-promotion in other people's chats. And it was Tectone reacted to my video, and he was looking at the part about the Twitch CEO and the staff.
Team, I have an announcement to make to y'all.
Oh, God.
Okay. I brought Emily here.
Thank you.
Okay, because I wanted to announce something.
You know what's so scary about this clip? Why the f is there so many late 50s, early 70s people in this one room coordinating what's going to have on a platform between the ages of 18 and 34? There's no one in this boardroom that gets what the actual target demographic wants from this platform. This just screams we're a bunch of suits that are going to do whatever it takes to capitalize on this captive audience and make as much money as possible, and we will ride this sinking ship into the ground as long as we get a couple more bucks out of it.
Anyways, moving on to the content comp on Ludwig. It's titled Content Comp Hasan, but it's like a bait and switch or whatever.
Eat the rich.
What we do
Eat
here
the
is go
rich.
back.
Eat the rich. Eat the
Dude, what? Is this a Diddy party? We got bring your own baby oil, alcohol will be present, do not speak ill of Hasan or Dan Clancy. Why is Moist critical there? What the heck is this? So he starts by giving an intro of Ludwig, and then he talks about how he was criticizing Ethan for misspeaking about Frogan.
Briefly describe Ludwig and his content. He is a popular Twitch streamer, YouTuber, and a 30-year-old charismatic frat boy with a disingenuous feeling personality. But it's especially cucked given the fact that he was going apeshit defending her over Ethan misspeaking about the order of which she won Rising Star of the Year. And by God, let me tell you, that star is still rising.
Based?
She gets nominated for Rising Star again. Are they...
Now, I tried messaging to deal with it offline, but this is just wrong. And not only like wrong information, it's like fake and doctored information. First off,
at the street.
Look, I won't speak for Cutie. I'm not friends with Frogan. I don't particularly like Frogan. The problem here is that he goes on to say, oh, she won an award and then got nominated the next year and then has a joke. This is a totally fake image. And when I did a bit of research, I did a reverse image search, I find out this fake image came from Destiny's subreddit a few months ago. To be clear, it is true that she was nominated in 2021 and lost, and then was again nominated 2022 and then won.
Okay, yeah, that's a yikes. I mean, he was overly critical of Ethan's video, but when it comes to, Hasan or the Goon Squad, he sort of just lets things slide. I mean, it's pretty clear he really liked to be on like the Hasan orbiter side, no matter how they treated him. Frogan called him out for, donating 10K to the Palestinians and said chump change or whatever, and, he didn't really fight back at that. In fact, he just defends her at every turn. But, it's a slow boil. I feel like we are slowly converting him, making people see the error of Hasan's ways. Sometimes they are too entrenched, dug into the community. Of obviously, his girlfriend hosts a podcast with Hasan as well. He's too much into the sauce, so you gotta slowly drag him out like he's stuck in quicksand. Now, this next part, he talks about the infamous Ludwig incident, deleting the videos for Hasan.
Alert! Hasan's feelings were hurt. Alert! Alert! Hasan's feelings were
Why
hurt.
is Hasan mad? What did I do?
A real job can be gruesome. A real job can make you very tired. But a real job doesn't suck the soul out of you. You know what I mean? In the same way that 9 hours of streaming absolutely will.
Ludwig is anything but negative towards Hasan in these clips. He's extremely soft on him. Yeah, he pokes a little bit of fun, but he shows the full context, and that's that. He was extremely fair. But then Hasan finds out and watches, and he gets mad, and his feelings get hurt, and his chat is like, L Ludwig.
As a streamer myself for almost 6 years now, on how hard it really is. I'm kidding. I would look. I just.
Oh God, it's such a fake fucking thing to do. Using someone who you're friends with, like being maliciously clipped out of context to be like, I'm actually one of the good content creators. Like, it's like no different than what Muda did. He showed the context though. It doesn't fucking matter that he showed the context. It's like, it's odd that I have to just like sit here and be like, yeah, that's right, dude. Yeah, wag your fucking finger at me. He fucking threw me to the flames.
Dude, this might be about Ludwig, but oh my god, Hasan is such a bitch, man. This guy has the audacity to talk about maliciously clipping out of context when he does that like all the time. Also, Ludwig literally criticized him for the mildest take ever. It was his take about streaming or something. Imagine Ludwig said something about Hasan's open terrorist support. I feel like he would get a sturdy slap on the bottom by Hasan, His takes get stupider day by day. I mean, it truly is a marvel. Maybe even a DC. Maybe he is Superman. Oh my god.
And this is like the end of the world. Hasan's mad.
Call Hasan and apologize.
Hasan's mad. I've got to get SpongeBob back.
Why is Hasan mad? What did I do?
I'm sorry, Hasan Patcher.
Because I'm a mogul male? I feel like everything I said was fine. Am I crazy? Farmed for views? Oh, well, I mean, shit, if that's the deal. I'll just fucking pull him out of the thumbnail, and then I feel like it doesn't really...
Please take my offering.
That's a change on the fly, baby.
Delete the video. We can't have that. You cannot be mad, Hasan Patcher. New video, new take. Okay. He called it a re-upload, but it was a new take the next video. Oh, and to explain why he had to re-record the video instead of saying that he has to fix his wording for Hasan, he decides to blame drama commentators instead. It's fucking hilarious.
I was just being used in a proxy war for people who don't like Hasan. Why the fuck am I being used for that? Good. It's crazy. It's crazy people.
Very obvious that Ludwig wants to appease as many people as possible. Now, I'm no mind reader. I don't know his intentions, but it might have something to do with the fact that he organizes a lot of streamer events, that his, girlfriend runs the streamer awards and has a podcast with Hasan.
Yeah, that I still think is a yikes. Like, I don't want to be that guy, policing other people's behavior and shit. Of course, do what you want or whatever, but I think people won't be happy with it. Like, yeah, if my girlfriend was chilling, hosting a podcast with a terrorist supporter, it's not the same as just having a guy you don't like, right? Hasan is not a normal dude. He's a crazy, unhinged, terrorist-supporting radical freak, right? So I feel like he's equivalent to the status of like a PDF file. Like, you just don't want to associate with them at all. It just makes you feel icky and shit, and they're like heinous people. I feel like he's a guy who needs to be outcasted, frankly, and I don't say that lightly. He's openly hateful as shit, just like so anti-Semitic, such horrible rhetoric, and he's genuinely like harming people with his like not non-stop propaganda, right? So I don't think it's like such an innocent thing that, oh, she's just hosting a podcast with him. Ludwig is just so friendly with him. Like, I think you guys are enabling him. Now this next part, he talks about one of Ludwig's worst videos where he tries to talk about the so-called Twitch adpocalypse and blames everybody but Hasan.
Another great example is a mogul male Ludwig made last year on the Twitch adpocalypse. This video's got it all. Fence-sitting, cowardly behavior, bad journalism, arrogance, hypocrisy, the whole shebang, honestly. Kind of reminds me of a video's namesake, huh? For context, last year, the Twitch adpocalypse started after many viewers, and notably Dan Saltman, pushed for Twitch to stop upholding double standards against creators. This was after a bunch of clips of Hasan and his orbiters resurfaced of them saying anti-Semitic remarks disguised as anti-Zionist remarks without punishment. This led to a campaign of viewers led by Dan Saltman to email a bunch of advertisers over Hasan's behavior to pull ads from Twitch, and it worked. Then Hasan blamed Asmongold for the Twitch adpocalypse, and Asmongold said it's both of their faults, and in all reality, in my genius, humble, well-informed, dumbass opinion, it's Twitch's fault. He shows his bias immediately by obfuscating the reason people are upset with Twitch. He blames the adpocalypse on the Asmongold ban.
Where did the advertisers go? Do they hate Twitch all of a sudden? Well, the genesis of this, as far as I can tell, is when Asmon got banned off of Twitch.
He avoids mentioning Hasan,
where people are like, okay, you ban Asmon for saying this thing about Palestinian people, but, you know, what about this person saying this thing about this people?
He tiptoes around Frogan's racial tier list.
And they banned several Arab streamers following a Habibi rating panel that was at TwitchCon, and you can see the sponsors are in the background.
He claims Asmongold blamed himself, which is half true because he showed half the context.
Hasan is blaming Asmongold for the adpocalypse for teaming up with people who he says, and Asmon is
looking at me and blaming me. I want to say you're welcome.
Taking blame himself and probably talking about DEI again for the 100th time.
Damn, Ludwig, did Hasan write that joke himself?
If I had to guess.
Excellent backpedal. Don't want to start drama, of course.
Okay, at this point, I think it's pretty clear that, you know, Ludwig does not like Asmongold, nor does his chat, and he does like Hasan. It just is what it is. I think people want Ludwig to be something he's not, particularly because they like his, you know, I don't know, gaming streams, I guess. Now, I don't think anyone is, like, obligated to talk about a topic, obviously. If he doesn't want to cover Hasan, that's completely okay. But if you can't cover a topic, you know, don't cover it half-assedly, because then people will call you out for being biased and spineless. And, you know, he recently has come back to the Mogul Mail channel, and, you know, he chose one of those undisputable topics, the Epstein files, obviously. But yeah, we'll see. Then he talks about the reason Ludwig gave for leaving his Mogul Mail channel, and it was basically a, you know, disingenuous sort of cop-out reason, because, you know, he didn't want to cover Hasan. Everybody knows that. But Ludwig made it about, well, the drama frogs are just toxic because, you know, they're kind of holding me accountable for not being an unbiased reporter or something like that.
Will you post on Mogul Mail again? No, I don't think so. I think the drama landscape has changed quite a bit on YouTube in a way that I don't like. I do think drama frogs have become more powerful. Scarier, to be honest.
What a disingenuous coward. Yeah, so when iDubbbz and Anissa left Creator Clash and the new owners leaked that Ian and Anissa were being dishonest about profiting off of the event, naturally, people felt scammed. But fear not, Ludwig is here to save the day. He goes on to misrepresent the actual argument, saying it doesn't matter that the other events failed, and it doesn't matter that they were profiting this time around, because the first one did really good.
So it was a scam? I feel like that has to be like the worst faith interpretation. You're ignoring the context of the first one that was hella successful.
Nobody's ignoring the context of the first event. I certainly didn't. What you're ignoring is the context of the second event. And while this time around, they were profiting off of the event and marketing it as a charity event when none of the event proceeds were going to charity.
I feel like people get real bad faith or virtue signally when it comes to charity stuff. Yeah, maybe grandstandy. I don't know the exact word. But I feel like when the word charity is hit, people are like, Ethan Klein did it. Okay, I'm not trying to be controversial here, but I do think iDubbbz posting the content cop was one of the dumbest moves ever.
It's not like some new information was presented over the last month to change his mind, okay? It's because it's convenient.
Okay, so obviously I can't read his mind there. I don't know why he had that sudden change in opinion on the Creator Clash stuff there. I think he genuinely might have seen some of the videos that were talking about him and realized that, well, you know, iDubbbz and Anissa aren't the best people. He also saw that dad video where he was complaining about, you know, getting screwed over, and he sort of felt bad about it. I don't necessarily think in this instance he was pandering, whatever. Maybe he was, I don't know. But anyways, just summing up the whole Ludwig thing, I think the worst thing he did was definitely the mango shit. That shit was like, you know, I've already talked about it. You know, I'm still gonna use that fucking funny meme though. But, you know, if I was Mango, I would not let that shit go. I'd cut this guy out of my life, but just saying.
You killed Mango? Not even a little bit. I don't know if you're memeing or genuine. I feel zero guilt. I don't feel guilty at all. I think this is his own actions because he's his own man. He's an adult man.
And there's the fucking problem. I feel no guilt. This is not my fault. I beg your pardon? You shouldn't have invited him to the event. And yeah, the onus is on him to drink responsibly, of course. But you know he's not gonna do that. That's like putting Casey trying to ton of weed and say, no, no, no. That's like putting train wrecks in a casino and saying, no, 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 no.
Listen, I'm just on a mission to see the downfall of every Hasan supporter. And if Ludwig wants to get in that boat is sinking. All right, so you know, feel free to choose your path, choose your side here, or you know, stay on the sidelines. I don't care. But Hasan supporters will be going down. Mark my words. All right. Anyways, Tectone responded.
Ludwig knows exactly why this is happening and who is causing it, but being unable to say why and who for obvious reasons is hilarious. Lud, you're better off not covering a topic if you have to tiptoe around so much to avoid offending friends.
It is crazy how comfortable he is shitting on Asmongold for the same shit that he supports Hasan doing. It actually is really bad. I mean, genuinely, he is a spineless bastard. It is crazy. I actually forgot about all this. Surprisingly. I actually forgot how spineless this shit was. Yeah, no, it's actually so pathetic. It's insane.
I do think drama frogs have become more powerful. Scarier, to be honest.
What a fuck.
Yeah, it's because your buddy Hasan causes 99% of drama on the internet and you're too much of a pussy to call him out.
Well, to be honest, I feel like being in the Hollywood of Twitch definitely distorts your perspective. I mean, obviously, it's going to be different when they're actually your friends and you hang out with them and your girlfriend runs a podcast with them. But obviously, no excuse for bending the knee to terrorist glazers, all right? That dude, Hasan, is evil, all right? I'm sorry. There's no two ways about it. Bro is actually a villain. And I will be criticizing anybody that supports him. Now, click this video or Frogan finds your fridge. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.